All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm the priest I wild from the GMS South Carolina Midlands camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. Call Haloyam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and to my elders of great millstone that rule well, which taught me this truth, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And also peace, love, blessings, and salutations to the elect. All right, shalom. Also shalom to the few sisters, the Akwaf, that listen and follow this truth in silence and sincerity. All right, to y'all I say shalom, and also shalom to the Israelite foreigners who may not look like your average everyday Israelite, but through the spirit their line goes back to being a Hebrew Israelite, man. All right, because it's all about the spirit, pursuant to Romans chapter 8 verse 16, right? It's all about the spirit. Okay, it's not about your physical appearance, right? All right, shalom to all you sincere Akim and Akwaf. And in this lesson, pretty much this is going to be a lesson just, touching on World War III, man. World War III is spoken about in the scriptures. Now, of course, it doesn't say World War III. Okay, it's coded, but through the spirit, the Lord has allowed us to understand that World War III is spoken of in the scriptures and that World War III is imminent. World War III is going to take place and it's going to happen in our lifetime. So right now, what we're seeing is the rumors of wars, which I'm going to grab the scriptures, right? But right now we're seeing the rumors of wars, right? We're seeing, proxy wars. We're seeing wars over certain sanctions and things like that. But all of these things are going to lead to war, Now, what's going on over in Ukraine and Syria, Ukraine and Russia, right? They're at war, but that's not the ultimate war. Okay, that's just showing you how close we are to World War III escalating, because what's taking place over there could lead to World War III, But ultimately, we see what's going on. We understand the times that we're in. As a matter of fact, let me start here first. Okay, let's go to 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself." Right now, how do we measure the times? Okay, by paying attention to what's going on around the world. Okay, what's going on as far as pertaining to the scriptures, the prophecies. Right, because the prophecies tell us certain things that's going to be taking place. Okay, in these last days. Okay, certain things that's going to lead up for these prophecies to come to pass. So we pay attention to what's going on around the world. Okay, we pay attention to the certain current events. What's going on? You got certain countries that's protesting. Okay, the scriptures speak about the uproars of the people. Certain things as far as, the wars, the rumors of wars. You got these countries that are beefing with another country, and then other countries get involved. All of these are the prophecies, man. Okay. So that's how we pay attention that's how we measure the times. Okay. By paying attention to the current events and linking those current events to the scriptures, to the prophecies. So it says, he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past," the signs being what? The prophecies, "which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." So the Lord is visiting this earth. He's visiting this place. Okay. And when we see the chariots, right, those so-called UFOs, right, and it's gotten to the point to where Esau want to try to control the narrative because everybody is seeing them. Everybody's seeing the chariots, right? We understand that we're close because we understand that the chariots, the angels, the ones that are controlling the chariots, right? They are the eyes of the Lord, man. And it's more chariot sightings that's happening over here in the West than it is in other parts of the world. Why? Because the Lord is, preparing to take down Babylon the Great, America. Okay. And where is Babylon the Great? It's on the Western Hemisphere. Okay? So the Lord is getting ready to take this place out. Just because what is Esau trying to do? He's trying to usher in his NWO. The same thing happened with Nimrod. When you read Genesis, the 11th chapter, where it speaks about when Nimrod was trying to pretty much bring in a new world order, okay, the Lord confounded the languages. But when it says, matter of fact, I'm going to just pull that, man, real quick. Let's go to Genesis real quick. The 11th chapter, and I'm going to get right to the point. I believe it's around the 6th verse, right? Because we understand about them trying to build the Tower of Babel, okay? But like I said, I'm just get to the points, man. Y'all can go and read this account. Genesis 11:6, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. You know, they was on the same mindset. And this they began to do, and now nothing will restrain them. Nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language. Now, when it says let us go down, what is it talking about? Why does it say us? This is talking about the angels, right? It says that they may not understand one another's speech. Okay, so the Lord sent down the angels because the angels are the eyes of the Lord, man. Okay, and they're recording what's going on and taking it back to the Heavenly Father. Same thing going on now, right? Let's go to Amos. What is it? 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. Now, ultimately, this was talking about Israel, right? But we can use this as a twofold scripture. We can use this for what's taking place now. Because what's the most sinful kingdom upon the planet Earth as of right now? America, Babylon the Great. So when it says the eyes of the Lord, power are upon the sinful kingdom, the angels, the chariots. That's why everybody's seeing these chariot sightings, man. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Yeah, the Lord is going to completely destroy Babylon the Great in this World War III that's coming up. Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord, because the 1/3 is going to be delivered. The 2/3 are going to be destroyed. And ultimately, they'll come back in the kingdom through the loins of the elect. But right now, only the elect is going to be delivered, man. Okay, so with all that being said, I want to put out this article because these are the rumors of wars. These are the things that's going to lead up to World War III physically taking place, man. It says the U.S. will not back off Syria mission despite deadly attacks. And this is from the White House. It says the United States will not back away from its nearly 8-year-old deployment to Syria, where it is battling the remnants of Islamic State. And what happened to those guys? They still battling them guys? Everybody know that, you know, ISIS or the Islamic State was bullshit, man. Okay, it was all propaganda. It was bullshit, and it was and they were bought and paid for. Okay, they were created, okay, by the U.S. government. Everybody knows this, man. Everybody is beginning to realize that the U.S. they got their hands in everything, man. And it ultimately goes up to Esau, you know, Amalek, you know, those fake, you know, those small hats, man. Everybody is figuring it out because we're in a time to where these devils are being revealed, man. You see, it says, despite attacks on U.S. forces there last week by Iran-backed militia, the White House said on Monday, a one-way attack drone struck a U.S. base in Syria on March the 23rd, killing an American contractor, injuring another and wounding 5 U.S. troops. That triggered U.S. retaliatory airstrikes and exchanges of fire that a Syrian war monitoring group said killed 3 Syrian troops, 11 Syrian fighters and pro-government militias, and 5 non-Syrian fighters who were aligned with the government. White House National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said he was not aware of any additional attacks over the past 36 hours, but cautioned, you know, this jackass, this fucking liar, man. Esau's a fucking liar, man. We're going to stay vigilant. Kirby also referred to President Joe Biden's remarks on Friday, in which Biden warned Iran that the United States would act forcefully to protect Americans. There's been no change in the U.S. footprint in Syria as a result of what happened the last few days, Kirby said, adding the mission against Islamic State will continue. And nobody even talks about ISIS anymore, man. So what is the U.S. really over there for? What are they doing over there? What does the U.S. government do when they go to all these other countries? They try to push democracy because ultimately they want something. They want to drain that country of its resources. They want to set up puppet governments, right? They want full control, man. This devil is greedy, man. Okay? We're not going to be deterred by these attacks from these militant groups. And they're talking about militant groups. But the U.S., they're the one that's going around trying to bully everybody. You see? Syria's foreign ministry on Sunday condemned U.S. strikes, saying Washington had lied about what was targeted and pledging to end the American occupation of its territory. Iran's foreign ministry also condemned the strikes, accusing U.S. forces of targeting civilian sites. U.S. forces first deployed into Syria during the Obama administration's campaign during Islamic State, partnering with a Kurdish-led group called the Syrian Democratic Forces. There are about 900 U.S. troops in Syria, most of them in the east. Prior to the latest spate of attacks, U.S. troops in Syria had been attacked by Iranian-backed groups about 78 times since the beginning of 2021, according to the U.S. military. Iran has been a major backer of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad during Syria's 12-year conflict. Iran's proxy militias, including the Lebanese group Hezbollah and pro-Tehran Iraqi groups, hold sway in swaths of eastern, southern, and northern Syria and in suburbs around the capital, Damascus, right? So the reason for me bringing this article out is because these are part of the rumors of wars, man, because World War III is going to take place. And that's main. At one point, you had people that was, talking about the apostles, right? The elders, and, all the way down to his younger brothers, right? They was talking about Great Millstone, saying that we're crazy, saying that we're conspiracy nuts, saying that we're, we're faith-based Israelites, which that's a compliment, right? Everybody was trying to look us out to be crazy, right? Now they're talking about World War III on mainstream media, on the news. So it doesn't matter what the people say, man, because these prophecies at the end of the day are going to still come to fruition. See, people can try to deny this truth all they want. They can try to say that we're crazy or whatever. But all we got to do is just keep on prophesying and keep teaching. And guess what? As time moves forward, each and every day, these prophecies are going to speak louder and louder and louder and louder. And then to the point to where they come to pass. And the people are going to be confounded, man. You see? Matthew 24:6, red letter, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. See, it said you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. We're hearing that now. We're seeing that. Okay, like that article I just brought out. And there's plenty of other articles. That's just one article that I brought out, man. This thing is heating up, man. Because we're getting closer to that time to where our Lord Yahweh Shai is about to return. And before Yahweh Shai returns, World War III is going to already be kicked off. But see, Yahweh Shai is going to invade these troops of these other nations, which I'm going to grab that in the second Ezra, the 13th chapter. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You see that? So it says these things must come to pass. And right now, what is the Lord doing? The Lord is gathering all the troops of these nations, man, because the Lord is going to gather them all together to judge them. Right? Joel 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, it says Jehoshaphat, but when you go into the Hebrew, it's Yehoshaphat, which means the Lord's judgment, and will plead with them, there for my people and for my heritage Israel. When you go into that word plead, it goes into judge. Let's go into it, right? Just to prove that point. Okay, let's go into Jehoshaphat. Now in the Hebrew, it's Yehoshaphat, which means the Lord's judgment. See, it says Yahweh has judged. We know his name's not Jehovah because there wasn't no J letters over 2,000 years ago, right? The letter J didn't come about until maybe the late early 1600s. I'm not sure. I can go and look it up, but I'm not going to look it up, right? But the letter J hasn't always been around. So it's Yehoshaphat, which means the Lord's judgment. Now let's go into the word plead. There's the word shapat again, which means judge, to judge, govern, vindicate, to punish, right? To execute judgment, to enter into controversy, have controversy together. Now, what did it say? For the controversy of Israel? Well, it says, plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel. So the Lord is getting ready to judge these nations because of what they have done unto the children of Israel. You see, these nations, they thought they got away because we've been captive to all the nations, and they thought they got away with it. But no, the Lord has been, the Lord has been taking names, man. Right? He has been putting all y'all down on the list, on his hit list. Y'all didn't get away with it, and especially Esau Edom. He's going to get it the worst, right? But the Lord is getting ready to judge these nations for what they have done unto the children of Israel. You got these people, you got these other nations thinking that the Lord has done away with the true biblical Israelites, right? I was watching that, the videos that brothers was making, which I haven't watched the debate, but that debate with that nigga, what's that cracker's name? Dr. Brown, when he was debating Alazar Sakari, right? And at the end of the day, this nigga, Dr. Brown, he can try to deny the true biblical Israelites all he wants. Vocab Malone. He can try to deny the true biblical Israelites all they want. But the Lord knows who the true biblical Israelites are. And the Lord is letting it be known, whether you people like it or not, man. Okay? So guess what? Everything that these other nations have done unto the children of Israel, the Lord is going to hold these nations accountable for it. And they're going to get judged. They're going to serve 1,000 years of slavery under the Israelites. And Esau is going to get it the worst. But let me stay on topic. It says, for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Yeah, the Lord, at the end of the day, we were scattered amongst all the nations, right? But during the time of captivity, these nations, what was they doing? They was raping, our women. Okay, putting their seed in our women. Okay, so on and so forth, man. But the point is how the Lord is gathering all these nations in the Middle East. You see? These nations had us following their customs. Right? Let's go to Zephaniah. Chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. So the Lord is gathering these nations. Right now, the Lord is drawing the Lord got a particular spirit on these nations to prepare for war. They're testing their weapons, right? They're getting ready to go to war. And the Lord is going to gather them in the Middle East. That's why the Lord has all of this war and all of this, all of these wars and bombings and all of that in the Middle East. They had that saying back in the 90s, peace in the Middle East or whatever. But that's why it ain't been no peace in the Middle East, right? When peace is coming to the Middle East, when the Lord puts his the true rulers on top, man. And when he puts us back in the land of Israel, okay, when he puts us back in our homeland, pursuant to Isaiah 14:1, the Lord said he's going to set us in our land, That's when peace in the Middle East is going to happen. That's when peace is, and not just the Middle East, around the whole world, man. That's when peace is going to come to the world. When the rightful rulers are in rulership. But there's no peace in the Middle East because the Lord, because the rightful rulers ain't in power. And guess what? The Lord is gathering these other nations in the Middle East. And they think that they're gathering together to war with each other. But guess what? The Lord is gathering them together to bring judgment upon them. I'm reading it right here in the scriptures. For my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire, Salakia, of my jealousy. You see that? So the Lord is about to take these nations out, man. And if you destroy a nation, if you destroy their military, how are they going to fight back? So the Lord is about to destroy the nations, their military, man. Okay? And he's going to do it during the Third World War. Now I'm going to read some of this, and I'm going to end off because this goes more into detail because Esdras received a vision. And this is going to go more into detail to what's going to happen when these countries are warring against each other. Yahweh Shai is and the angels are going to pull up on them, man. 2 Esdras 13:1, and it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And it's talking about the heavens, right? Because the heavens are also known as the sea as well, because when Yahweh Shai and the angels return, they're coming out of the clouds, man. They're not going to come out of the ocean, right? They're coming out of the clouds. And you can read that in Revelation 1:7. It says, for he cometh with clouds. It's plenty of scriptures that tell you how Yahweh Shai is going to come back. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. So that's how you already know that's talking about Yahweh Shai, right? Because Yahweh Shai said he's going to come back. He's the host with the hosts, right? Yahweh Shai is going to come back with the angels. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. Yeah, when these nations, when they're warring against each other, they're not expecting Yahweh Shai to return, right? They're gonna be completely caught off guard, and they're gonna tremble when they see Yahweh Shai in his angelic body, and they see the angels, because pursuant to Isaiah 45, Isaiah 47:3, Yahweh Shai says he's not going to meet thee as a man when he returns. He's not going to come back in that flesh that he was in over 2,000 years ago. He's going to come back in his perfection. Okay. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. Speaking about the laser beams that's going to come off of the chariots, man. Like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven. The Lord says he's going to gather these nations from all over the earth, and he's going to bring them into the Middle East, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Because once Yahweh Shai and the angels pull up, they're gonna focus their attention on Yahweh Shai and the angels, right? But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. Speaking about the fathership, it's going to cover up the whole entire earth, man. And we like to use that example of that scene in Independence Day, even though it's going to be a million times more glorious than that. But that was a pretty good example. That's how it's going to be, man. And look, Yahweh Shai and the angels, they just going to appear, And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So yeah, they're going to be afraid, but the Lord is going to put the spirit upon them to try to fight against them, man. They ain't going to want no smoke. But guess who wants to smoke? Yahweh Shai and the angels. And they're going to put a spirit on these nations to try them, so that they can completely destroy and annihilate their asses, man. And the Lord is doing this for Israel, for us, you see. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire. Yeah, that concentrated energy, that concentrated laser fire that's going to come from the ships. And out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. Woo! Hey, look, man. Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai, and the angels are going to smoke these niggas, man. And guess what? You got a lot of Jake that want to join the military and do all of that. They're going to be over there too, and they're going to get fucked up. You see? And they're going to have that everlasting shame and contempt in the kingdom, man. You know? When I saw this, I was afraid. Yes, Edris saw this, and he was afraid, man. Because it's going to be a terror. Because it's one thing when it comes to Jacob's trouble, and we know that, when it comes to the persecution and these terrible things that's coming, it's one thing when we read them, but it's going to be another thing when it's actually reality and it's taking place, man. This is why we got to have a heavy spirit upon us, pursuant to Isaiah 33:6. Wisdom and knowledge is what's going to keep us stable. Having the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shai, but first and foremost, having the fear of Yahweh Shai. But that's what's going to keep us stable in these, crazy times that's coming, right? And at the end of the day, they're terrible times, but they're beautiful times, because we understand that these things got to happen in order for us to get to the kingdom, But yeah, that's pretty much all I had, man. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I want to say shalom.